Okay, yes. I want to thank everybody for coming out to Health Awareness, Love Thyself lecture. I really do appreciate your time and for you actually taking serious how important health is. Love Thyself is the name of the lecture, Health Awareness. Love Thyself is really crucial though, because in order to move in the right direction with health, it takes self-love. People would actually participate in one or two things, activities that illustrate that you love yourself or that you hate yourself. So with that being said, this is Love Thyself Health Awareness edition. Hosea 4:6. The more my people is destroyed for the lack of knowledge. Knowledge is really, really important. What you don't know, what we don't know, really do hurt us. It really does affect us in a tremendous way. The more you can manipulate knowledge and suppress knowledge, the more people will dismiss what is actually happening due to the information being kept from them. A lot of information that is needed for us to apply to our lives is deliberately kept from us for many reasons which we'll get into in this lecture, but this is something that I want to pinpoint, that knowledge is powerful. It's very powerful. Psychosis. So anytime we deal with health, it's really important to know that your mental state is included in this. And psychosis is what I was suffering from when I was at dis-ease, or what doctors and specialists would say is disease, but it's really dis-ease. But I was suffering from a mental condition, and I was out of contact with reality. Totally out of contact with reality. That is a psychosis. Reality. Not what we think it is, but the world of what it actually is, how it actually exists. The definition of it is the world or state of things as they actually exist, as opposed to the idealistic notion, idea of it. The state of quality of having existence or substance. Back to our mind state, mental health, mental illness, psychosis, things of that nature. Risky behavior. Risky behavior. So when you do things that actually put your physical health, mental health at stake, this is considered to be risky behavior. Risky behavior can be a coping mechanism. Individuals with mental illness, a symptom of their condition, or both. The relationship is complex, as mental health issues can drive reckless actions, and consequences of risky behavior can turn to worsen mental health. But the thing is, I want to show that risky behavior is tied directly to mental illness, directly tied in with mental illness. High-risk behaviors are defined as acts that increase the risk of disease, which is what we're getting into right here. The risk of disease or injury, which can subsequently lead to disability, death, or social problems. Most diseases lead to death. Most diseases lead to death. The most common high-risk behaviors include violence, alcoholism, tobacco use disorder, risky sexual behavior, and eating disorders. This is what I had. Never knew that I was suffering from an eating disorder, but I definitely was. Yes, deliberately engaging in things that negatively affect your health is considered risky behavior. And we just went over the slide that showed that risky behavior is tied to mental illness. So what I had to learn was that our English terminology, the language that we use, is it's actually two languages compound into one. It's German, and Latin. And a lot of our words have what you call etymology. So the surface level of a definition that when you hear a word or thing that come to mind usually ain't what that word actually really means. It's really important to know that. So every word have, you can get into etymology, and it'll show you the deeper meaning of that actual word that you are thinking about or using. So health, a lot of people, and this is what I thought, tied it to the state of being free from illness or injury, or a person's physical condition. And that's not true. The real definition of health is actually the condition of being sound in body, mind, and spirit. There's never a time where you're just one. You're not just the body, you're not just your mind, you're not just the spirit. It's all three in one. Nothing can separate you from that besides death. As long as we are in this meat suit, you are mind, body, and soul. If you take your mind out of your body will fail to do anything that it could do right now. Take the spirit out of the body, same result. So this is why they try to hide the actual real meaning of health, which they give it to you, but you gotta go look for it. In Old English, and it means wholeness and being whole, which means in mind, body, and soul. Which this is the approach that led me on the journey that I am on to holistic, and applying a holistic approach to my life in general, not just health, just my whole being. So to be whole is to be sound in mind, body, and soul. So it's a known fact that if you are sick in your body, so is your mind, and so is your spirit, because they all tie together. Three is in one, one is in the three. Inflammation and excessive mucus brings about hypoxia. Hypoxia is what we call deprivation of oxygen from your cells. This is really important to know that they will tell you you got this disease and want to give you specialists and want to give you all these type of different medicines and make it seem like it's the end of the world, but it's not. It's actually just your cells suffering from the lack of oxygen, which is called hypoxia. Which is the cause of most diseases. Inflammation is the way of the body to localize the disease. This is the first alarm of being sick. So your body is very intelligent. So disease, we've been taught to look at disease as if it's a bad thing, when it's actually your body fighting for yourself. One of the things it uses is inflammation. Because if it don't, and it don't localize the toxins or whatever pollutants that's in the body, it'll cross over to the blood barrier and kill you from acidosis. So this is the body's way. In 1978, according to the Merck manual, there was only one disease, and that was called excessive mucus. Today, you got many diseases that they use because it's a money grab, but we'll get into that. But that's all it was. In 1978, so from 1978 to now, it came out with many ways which I can actually prove that a lot of these diseases have patents on them. So this is my disclosure. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a health specialist, none of that. But I say that because if I say that, oh, I can heal cancer, I can heal diabetes, I can heal high blood pressure, these things actually have patents on them, and you can be taken to jail for it. This is how serious they is with these diseases and about making their money off of them. So if you don't go to their school and learn how to treat them the way they teach you how to treat them, then you're breaking the law, according to them, if you're saying that you're treating cancer or so I don't treat cancer, I don't treat diabetes, I treat hypoxia and excessive mucus, because them ain't got patents on them. This means to remove, ease is peace. So when your body's at ease, your body's at peace. Disease ain't nothing but removal of peace from the anatomy, from the human body. That's all disease is. But they'll tell you it's everything and every which, you know, they like to play games with etymology and words. So you gotta get you to believe it, because if you really knew the truth, that'll pick them out of business. So 80% of rare diseases are genetically inherited. So a lot of people say, you know, bad heart run in my family, this runs in my family, that runs in my family. If it's a rare disease, it's about 80%. But majority of the diseases that we encounter is not inherited. It's bad tradition that been passed down. And ignorance. It's not inherited. These two guys right here, Francis Crick, and there was another brother, James Watson. They studied genetics. They went in and unwind the DNA, and they learned that majority of the diseases are non-genetic diseases, and provided that and proved that most diseases are caused by environmental factors, meaning that how we interact with our environment and how our environment affects us. So non-communicable diseases, or NCD. This is really important. Really important. Uh, Up to 41 million deaths, 71% globally. So this is the majority of the death worldwide is caused by non-communicable diseases. Non-communicable diseases mean that it's not transferred, and it is totally preventable. Totally preventable. So I have a grandmother that died from a non-communicable disease. I have a father that transitioned from non-communicable diseases. Aunts, uncles, cousins. None of them was a rare genetic disease that they was encountering. It was a disease that was totally preventable. And premature deaths, around 18 million deaths occurred before the age of 70, with 82% of these in low middle income countries. So right here it shows again, yes, non-communicable diseases are largely preventable. This is not what I'm saying. These are known facts. These are known statistics. They could be totally avoided. Totally avoided. And this one even goes on to say 80% premature heart disease, strokes, any type of 2 diabetes cause can be avoided by addressing common risk factors, which is what we're going to get in today. This is what we're going to get in today. So when we get into diseases plaguing the black community, there's a deliberate attack. And statistics show that the black anatomy is different than other anatomies on the face of the earth. Diabetes is 60% more common in black Americans than white Americans. Blacks are up to 2.5 more times more likely to suffer from a limb amputation because they don't really know how to address the anatomy. And they use military science, like radiation, for example. When you get cancer, they use radiation, but radiation is used for bombs. The first bomb that they ever dropped, they discovered that, which was, I believe, an atom bomb, or one of the bombs, but this was military science that they used in the health field, and they use war tactics for healing. And it's not even healing, it's for treatment. So they drop bombs, and the same thing, the same chemicals they use to drop bombs is how they use and what they use to address plagues in our bodies. So radiation. And then if they say, oh, we can't fix it, we just cut it off. That's military science. Attack, they all they know is to fight, attack, war. So they feel like the body's under attack, so they want to attack what's attacking the body. And they'll just cut it off because they don't know how to heal. They don't know how to heal. 5.6 times more likely to suffer kidney disease than other people with diabetes. This is black Americans we're still talking about. So-called black Americans or so-called African Americans. African Americans are 3 times more likely to die from asthma than white Americans. Blacks develop high blood pressure in early life, and white much higher blood pressure levels than whites. I mean, it goes on and on. All of our diseases or diseases, we are high on a high spectrum of developing them than any other race on the planet. And we eat the same foods, we in the same environments, definitely here in America. That's why I specifically chose these slides, because it says white Americans versus black Americans. We eat the same food, we're supposed to do the same thing, but yet we're dying faster and developing diseases faster than they are. That lets you know that the anatomy is different. Plain and simple. We different. God was very intelligent. We are made in the image of God. If you cut yourself right now, your body automatically know how to send signals to that specific area, clot it, and then there's a scab. The scab will fall. That's healing. Your body naturally heals itself when you put it under the right conditions, and your body talks to you. So you really don't need a doctor. So this right here, your whole face, because we are one organism. So you have atoms that make molecules, molecules make cells, cells make tissue, tissue make organs, you are an organ make organ system, you're an organism. Everything's connected. And your face will let you know what's going on internally in your body. Any type of inflammation, any type of rash, bumps, redness, anything on your face is directly connected to an organ. And this picture right here shows your bladder, your large intestines. We all know about the eyes. We always could look at somebody's eyes and tell if they got bad kidneys or whatnot. But this is all connected. Every spot on this chart right here shows the direct correlation to the organ. And this is your face talking to you. We're not in communication, have never been taught how to treat our body or even listen to our body. So on the surface level, your body is showing you what's going on a deeper level or internally. In this particular picture, me and my wife, we was plagued with diseases. I had asthma, I was pre-diabetic, and you can see it in my face. My face is a flame. Face never lies. I don't really get into asking people how they doing because I can look at someone and tell how they doing. It's not me being funny and none of that. It's just this was God's way of us not really needing nobody outside ourselves. My face was inflamed. My wife's face was inflamed. She was suffering from her plagues herself as well, and the proof is in the pudding. So not only was we plagued, we was plaguing our kids as well through ignorance and neglect of knowing the knowledge on how to properly take care of ourselves. This is my daughter. She was, this was our first asthmatic. Her face was inflamed, you know, due to our diet and the lack of information, the lack of knowledge. This was our chronic asthmatic, my son. In this page right here, he was going to the ICU every year, maybe once a year at least, and being kept there. And the funny thing is that we take them, they keep them there, breathing machines, whatnot, and right after he come off the breathing machine, they went back to feeding him the very food. It's on their menu, the very food that got him in that type of state in the first place. This is my blood work. Just to let you know that holistic approach, they don't even understand it. This is my doctor telling me that I had all these abnormalities, and some of it was caused through dehydration, which we talked about hypoxia, oxygen being deprived from the cells. And then this is my A1Cs. You know, I was headed right towards, I was actually pre-diabetic, because the thing is, when they actually detect it, and our levels is different. We already showed you that in the slide with Americans, Black Americans being affected more than other races. So our levels is different, and we actually get the disease before other levels, or what they would call the range. So our range is different. But I was pre-diabetic, went to a holistic approach, changed my diet, changed my way of thinking, healed, and my doctor, when I went in, he was telling me that my results were unremarkable, of no concern. Now, when I went on high blood pressure, one of the specific questions I asked when they gave me, and I had one of the worst headaches, it's called cluster headaches, and I used to have to take a shot for them. And I asked them how long will I be on this medication, and they told me the rest of my life. That's what they told me. Or you'll be on this medication the rest of your life. So when I went in, I told him my approach, and what I did, he said it's something he had to look into. He never heard of it. But yet, he seen the results. And then he went on to even ask me to go donate blood. He wanted me to go donate some blood after he seen the results. So these two individuals, if you use any type of allopathic community approaches, which is the pharmaceutical industry, hospitals, doctors, it's really important to know the foundation, where they come from, who gave them their information, and when you go researching and looking, you'll find these two guys. These are the father of what you call Western medicine. These are the fathers. And John D. Rockefeller, evil individual, evil. And this is his little comrade right here. So it's really important to know who John D. Rockefeller was. He was actually an oil guru. His dad was infamous for going around and selling fake cures to people. That's what he made. His dad made a lot of money off of selling people hope and lies. Fake cures. And a father, as I said, he's the father of the medicine practices today. But John D. Rockefeller was an oil guru. Really important to know that it's an oil guru who fathered medicine. It ties right in. Rockefeller Foundation for the General Education Board. This is the information and the education of medicine and the things people go to learn as they go through school. 8 years to be a doctor or whatnot. They all started this. And they always go way down to Albert Einstein. And he was a scientist. This is a scientist. The pharmaceutical, this is derived from a Greek word called pharmakia. It's back to etymology. They use the words, and though we don't know what they mean, it still doesn't change the fact of what they actually mean. So this is a Greek word. This is pertaining to pharmacy, the art of preparing drugs. But it gets a little deeper when you get into the actual etymology of pharmacy. So it says pharmacy ties into a medicine that rids the body of an excess of humors or except blood. Also treatment with medicine. So there's two sides to everything. It's up, down, in, out. You know, it's two sides to everything. This is polarity. This is a universal law. Everything had two sides to it. Good, bad, right, left. So it's a good side to this. And they let you know, hey, pharmacy means medicine. But we already improved. I have learned that I never met one person who said, well, you know what? I got healed from my high blood pressure medication. I got healed from my diabetes medication. Never met nobody that did that yet. So it's not healing. So it's on the downside of things. It's on the downside. So it's not ridding the body of these plagues. So what is it doing? Then it must be a harmful medicine. They say a healing or poisonous. So we know it's not healing. So it's a poisonous herb, a drug poisonous potion, magic. So this ties right into witchcraft. Medicine ties right into witchcraft because the medicine that you take has to be filtered through your liver. And a lot of the medicine, like radiation, when chemo patients go through chemo, a lot of them suffer from liver failure, things of that nature, because it's not written. It's not all the toxins, which we're gonna get into. The toxins that's in these medicines, your body has to process. This is another thing to know about dealing with the pharmaceutical companies and people we're dealing with. So Greek mythology. We know about Greek mythology, the false gods and things of that nature, goddesses and all that. This is the RX symbol that they use. This lady was a Greek false goddess that they made sacrifices to and things of that nature. But not only that, look how crazy it's getting. This is a medical secret reveals that over 230 medical terminology that derives and describes the body parts and diseases that have a Greek origin and goes back to Greek gods. And one of them things is what we call Artemius heel. This is a Greek god, but this is a body part that's on our body that they name. The hippocampus is also a part of the brain. This is some type of sea monster in the Greek mythology. Our medicines, our terminologies derive from Greek. We all know who the Greek was. They ain't know nothing about no holiness, holistic, or nothing. These was savages. So the annual fatalities, heart disease being number 1, cancer being number 2, but a lot of people never knew this, that medical malpractice is the 3rd leading cause of deaths here in America. That's serious. The secret covenant. This is John D. Rockefeller, who came out with what we just discussed and whatnot, but he also wrote a covenant that I'm gonna read just a couple paragraphs from it to let you know what type of mind frame this guy had. So whenever you walk into a hospital, whenever you deal with anything that's dealing with who this guy is tied to, it was put in place not to help us whatsoever. He said, those who will see it will be thought as insane. We will keep our separate fronts to prevent them from seeing the connection between us. We will behave as if we are not connected to keep the illusion alive. Our goals will be accomplished one drop at a time, so to never bring suspicion upon ourselves. This will also prevent them from seeing the changes as they occur. We will always stand above the relative field of their experience, for we know the secrets of the absolute. We will work together always and will remain bounded by blood and secrecy. Death will come to those who speak. We will keep their lifespan short and their minds weak while pretending to do the opposite. We will use our knowledge of science and technology in subtle ways so that they would never see what is happening. We would use soft metals and agent accelerants and sedatives in food and water and also the air. We would blanket them with poison everywhere they turned. The soft metals would cause them to lose their minds. We would promise to find cures for them from our fronts, yet we will feed them more poison. The poison will be absorbed through their skin, their mouth. They would destroy their minds and their reproductive systems. From all this, their children will be born dead. We will conceal this information. The poisons will be hidden everything that surrounds them in what they drink, eat, breathe, etc., etc. And it goes on talking about sugars to our kids to make their teeth decay. And then when we go to them to address this situation, they put metals in their mouth. And the metals will cause their brain to have mal and dysfunctionalities. So when you get cavities and go and get a metal filling and caps and all that, we don't even know this is literally destroying our kids' brain. These type of devils we was dealing with. And this go on and on. Everything that we done tied ourselves into, everything that we know, these guys, they pick right there to hurt us. So pills are made from petroleum. Now petroleum goes back to oil. Oil is what John D. Rockefeller was a father of. He followed the oil industry. He had so much oil, he didn't know what to do with it. So this is really important. Pills are made from petroleum. Almost 99% of pharmaceutical contains petrochemicals. Petrochemicals derived from petroleum. Petroleum is oil, basically gas. Why is gas tied to medicine? How is that even possible? Nobody in their right mind will go and say, hey, let me get a little sip of a little bit of gas. Not even, but we know better than that. They couldn't get us like that. So what they did was they used subtle ways, go back to the covenant. And they said, you know what, we're going to be tricky with it and use science and technology, and we're going to turn the gas into pill form and tell you that the pill is helping you. And we'll get them to take the gas like that. Petrochemical, relating to or donating substance obtained by refining and processing of petroleum or natural gas. Various chemicals in petroleum products and refineries can, and I don't, they try to play word game. It ain't that it can cause cancer. It do cause cancer. It do cause cancer. And not only do it cause cancer, it causes birth defects and or other reproductive harm, which he just said, we want to get after their reproduction system too. We don't want to keep populating. This is another form of population control. 1941, Clint Anderson said, food is a weapon that could be used to control the world. And then this goes on to let you know about nuclear scientists have played a major role in food production. Nuclear scientists in food production. Why is a nuclear scientist has anything to do with food that we ingest? Because it's an attack. And by this, they enhance food safety, improve soils, and all this and all that, and that's complete lies. And then you got this guy right here, Henry Kissinger. He has something that he wrote about the Memorandum. It's called the Memorandum 200. He served under President Nixon, I believe. And he said that the world was overpopulated and that it was a must that we get the population down by all costs. And one of the things he said in there, control the oil, which was John D. Rockefeller, you control the nation, control the food, and you control the people. They already just proved that food has a direct impact on your mind, body, and soul. They know this. So the bliss point. This is what their scientists and their technology came up with. It's called the bliss point. The bliss point is a precise combination of salts, sugars, and fats. And what happens is these combinations make you addicted. Right here, this is a slide talking about World War I, and a lot of the soldiers was dying from starvation because they couldn't get the food out there in time in order to feed these soldiers. So they were dying from starvation and things of that nature. So the scientists came in and said, man, what can we do to try to preserve this food? And what they ended up doing was taking the life germ out of the food to preserve it longer. Because the life germ is what spoils the food. So what they went in there and did, they took the life germ out, and they came up with what we call now processed food. MREs, in the military, they usually got these. It's called meals ready to eat. So this is what they came up with, meals ready to eat. By taking the life germ out of the food, taking life out of the food, and introducing death to it. And then when we ingest it, we take on what we eat. There's a saying, you are what you eat. This is what they told us food was. These are not food. This is not food. This chicken is a made-up animal. This is not even, this is what you call a hybrid animal. These are two animals mixed together, and they gave us the chicken. A gray jungle fowl bird and a red jungle fowl bird gave us our modern day chicken. And if you don't think that they playing and manipulating with foods and chickens and animals, it was a time where, if you remember, it was a shortage on wings. I don't know if y'all remember that, but it said it was a shortage on wings, but we got all the drum, thighs, and legs that you want. Because they was genetically modifying these chickens. And a lot of them was born without their wings. Fish is filled with mercury. This is nothing but an oversized rat. And a cow is actually an animal that derives from another animal as well. It's really important to know about oxygenated blood, which we talk about epoxy and deoxygenated blood. So whenever you see red blood or so-called blood, it's impossible, because the only way it can be oxygenated is in the body. So anytime it leaves the body, it's without oxygen, and this is the actual color of this. And this ties into my next slide, why that was important to know. So food additives, preservatives, and things of that nature, things that preserve the food and change the color of it, because if you was to walk up and see what food really looked like before they trick you, you would never buy it. So these additives include preservatives for existing shelf life, flavoring and coloring for improving taste and appearance. Why you want to improve and change the appearance of what my food really look like? Because they know you won't buy it if you know what it really look like. Meat goes through a few important processes before it is distributed to a grocery store. It aged in coolers for 10 to 14 days, but can be extended. That's really important to know. This is meat. Preservatives and additives that they just told you that they changed for the colors and to improve shelf life and all that, they have effects on the human anatomy, because the body was not created to take that in, to ingest that. It wasn't created to do that at all, whatsoever. So what happens when you ingest these foods and these preservatives that's on these foods? It induces breathing problems like asthma, hyperactive behavior in children, weaken the heart tissues, contain cancer-causing food additives such as BHA and BHT, increase the chance of obesity, lose important nutritional value. This is crucial right here. If your food is not bringing nutritional value to it, it is depriving your body from it. It's either bringing you life or it's bringing you death. There is no in between. There is no in between. It causes headaches, decreasing energy levels, and the list goes on. This is what we call good meat right here. Good meat. But this is red meat, red blood. And we already know that it's not in the body, so it can't look like that. So this is the additives, the preservatives, and things of that nature to turn it back to this color. Because sometimes you can even go there and you might even see some little bad meat that's sitting there. This is what that bad meat looks like. Whenever you kill something, it immediately starts the decomposing process. Nothing changes that. All physical matter breaks down. Nothing stops the body, or nothing stops the decomposing process, even when you put it in your body. When you buy your meat, it's already decomposing. And then it says, yes, cooking stops the decomposing process. That's not true. That's not true. Because you can cook some meat, set it out, and then it'll mold, it'll decompose. We could just do our own little investigation or science experiment, and you'll find out nothing stops anything from decomposing once it's dead. It might preserve it a little bit, but that doesn't stop it. It might change the color of it a little bit, but that doesn't stop it. And then you put this stuff in your body, and it takes anywhere from 10 to 15 days, or sometimes even longer, for your body to go digest this food, which we'll get into. It's known facts. Our body is not created to digest meat. It can't digest meat. Our hydrochloric acid in our stomach don't get hot enough and causes us to be backed up, causes congestion, the deficiency and toxicity and things of that nature. Right here it talks about poor quality junk food, dairy products, and animal flesh cause nutritional starvation. These foods are prescriptions to death. These foods cause the body to rot, muscles to harden, bodies get soft, and the teeth rot and fall out, feet, armpits, and breath, and the body stinks with foul fumes because these toxins build up in your body, and your body's trying to release them, so it comes out through your mouth, through your armpits, things of that nature. This is why we gotta wear deodorant, which that goes into a whole nother thing about how deodorant causes your pores and causes our women to develop breast cancer and things of that nature. It's all an attack. The skin wrinkles, the eyes and ears weaken, circulation decrease, the physical degenerates caused by poor diet, which is called old age. We was not designed to get old. It don't even sound right to say I'm an old age, because when I was 13, that's more of an old age than what I am now. I would say I'm a new age right now. But they can't have you thinking like that, saying that I'm new. They want you to think that you're getting old. You have to believe that in order to make it work. We don't get old, we get new. We get new. But they use these type of tactics and these type of games to make you believe that you are getting to old age. But that's not only, that really doesn't make sense. Old age is back when I was 1 year old. That's the age that I used to be. That's old. I'm new today. I've never been 39. Parasites. This is deep. Parasites. We all got them. We all get them. And these things are entities that's conjured up straight from Lucifer himself, I would say. These things can take over your mind. They do take over your mind. They do take over your mind. They airborne sometimes. Foodborne. You can go out in the grass and catch them. There's no way getting around them. There's no way getting around. They in the water. This is what they look like. So I did a parasite cleanse as well as my wife, and believe it or not, these things came out of you, out of me. And when you do a parasite cleanse, it's very important to do parasite cleanse, because these parasites, they control you. If you up super late at night, can't sleep, parasites. Craving sugars, parasites. Attitude, parasites. Mood swings, parasites. And they need a living host. They need a living host. They can't live without you. And then some of them so smart, they go in there, lay eggs, do all types of stuff, hide from things that might kill them, which lets you know they're intelligent. There's something, they actually put up more of a fight to live than we do our own selves. Because they know the importance of using you to navigate and get what they need. And then what they do is, when you eat and get something nutritional or something of minerals and vitamins and something that's of good source to your well-being, what they do is, a lot of them don't have teeth. Like this is one that have teeth, but a lot of them, if you look at them, they don't have teeth. So what they do, they go latch on to your muscle tissues inside of you, and they throw up this acidic enzyme and weaken the flesh. And then when the flesh gets weak, it starts to suck all the minerals and nutrients out of you. So this is where our energy going. This is why we can't stay focused, and we tired, headaches. Because these parasites, not only are they controlling you, they eating up everything that you put in you, and you can't even utilize it. This is really, and wherever you find a disease, guess what you're gonna find? Parasite. So wherever there's a disease or dis-ease, you're gonna find a parasite. The moment an animal is killed, it starts the death cycle. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. Decomposed or rotten meat, which inside your intestine, it gives birth to parasites, because in order to break it down, which we talked about, your body can't break it down. So what happens is, the body tries to break it down, gives birth to parasites. In order to break it down, this rotten food, you need a enzymatic reaction, which only parasites do in the gut. Your body's smart. Your body puts up more of a fight than what our consciousness actually know and allows us to. when we're in the dark. Your body's always fighting. Our body is always fighting. So it comes up, makes itself very acidic to try to break this stuff down, but it gives birth to parasites. These acids then begin to dehydrate, which is hypoxia, and suffocate the cells. And where that hypoxia we was talking about in your body and begins to eat you alive from the inside out. And this gives rise to our heart attacks, our strokes, our cancers, our high blood pressure, headaches, diabetes. This is how it starts. Parasites are organisms that need a living thing or a host to get their nutrients they need to survive. So I ain't making this up. This is known scientific facts. I'm not making it up. Anything I say, I always suggest someone, don't believe nothing I say, please go research it and look into it for yourself. pH levels, this is really important. It's two sides of your pH level. You got the alkaline side, and then you got the acidic side. The acidic side is when your body begins to develop disease or begin to experience dysfunctionalities, things of that nature. And then you have the alkaline side. It's a known scientific proven fact that if you make your body alkaline, no disease can take hold of your body. So you say, what is alkaline? Alkaline is an alkaline body. You get this from fruits, vegetables, nuts, things that we ain't been taught to eat for real. So we don't even think that's food. Then you can get alkaline from herbs as well. Herbs is real good and alkaline the body. This attacks your diseases. This is how acidic foods affect your body. So you can go on your phone, go online, go look up mucus-forming foods or acidic foods. You're gonna find your dairy, you're gonna find your meat, you're gonna find your sugars, you're gonna find all types of stuff. And this is what it does. It affects your whole body, even the brain. But everything that you put into your stomach, you put into your brain, because right here, this is what you call the vagus nerve. And this is a direct correlation to your gut. And then not only that, majority of your serotonin that allows you to have proper brain function is made up in your gut. This is your first brain, your stomach. Your stomach is your first brain. So whatever you put in your stomach, you put in your brain. So this is the body, the mind, anything you put in your mind is going to affect your spirituality as well. A lot of people don't know that spirituality is connected to culture, and culture is connected to our foods and things of that nature. Sometimes we have to accept the fact that we're not even eating the food from our culture. A lot of this food is not even our culture. We didn't eat it. And then if you go back to the old days, in slavery time, sometimes you actually see that they still do this to this day. They get ham. And in slavery, our ancestors were smart. And what they would do is they put pineapples and cloves on the ham. And when I used to see that, I thought it was decoration. But I didn't know they was actually putting the pineapples and cloves on it because it raises the parasites up to it and the cloves killed them before they ate them. Because they had to work with what they had to work with. They had nothing else to work with. So that's what they were smart. We just eating and not even fighting. I'm not putting up no fight, no herbs, no combat, and none of this stuff. Just go back to what I'm saying. A high diet in sugar, salts, and carbohydrates. It triggers the release of dopamine. The more dopamine that is released, the greater the pleasure. This is what makes us addicted to eating. We really don't even crave the food from a natural standpoint. This is just a whole bunch of chemical warfare that's been raged on us, and we are addicted. They have made us addicted. Also addictive factors. This is known facts. Everybody that I have dealt with and talked to, we all have came to the same common agreement that we all have, if not some, all of these factors when it comes to craving food. So when you crave ready food, it's an emotional dysfunctionality that's going on in your body. And when you crave ready food, this relieves the feeling of insecurity and soothes dissatisfaction. When you crave chewy food, it relieves tension and stress. When you crave creamy food, it helps satisfy the need to be nurtured and comfort. Crunchy food helps release anxiety and social pressure. Salty redirects anger and frustration and violence. Sugar helps satisfy the need to give or receive love. And everybody say, well, I love myself. The thing is, we have to understand that love is not a feeling. We've been taught to think that love is a feeling, but love is actually an action word. They took it, the pictorial picture of love from ancient times, which was a mule with a plow on his back. It was actually an ox with a plow on his back, meaning that you have to work and nurture it. And they changed it to a heart. Because people think that love is a feeling. So a lot of people say, well, I don't struggle with loving people, but what type of work are you doing towards that person? What type of work are you putting in for yourself? See, your body don't lie. Our minds will be clouded, and we would think, say, oh, well, so when you crave a sugary food, that's because your body knows that you're not coming to attend to it the way you properly should be. You're not putting in the work. And then we say, oh, I love myself. I went out and bought me a car. Oh, I'm going to so celebrate. I'm going to go out and buy some ice cream. And that's not love. That's the opposite of love. That's the opposite of love. And then food not only becomes a form of pleasure, it also helps soothe and pacify the ugly pain of denial. Accountability. That was my biggest thing. Accountability. I heard this information probably a year and a half before I actually took it serious. It took for me to have some serious health complications to really start taking this serious. I had a guy, we just had a guy, we just been a bittersweet road for us. We see people heal, because we don't do the healing. We just give people the information and we assist with the healing. The body heals itself, and the made-up mind heals itself. But we just lost a guy who he had esophagus cancer, went into remissions, he was on herbs, started doing things. As soon as he found out that it was gone, he went right back to Salisbury steaks and pancakes and things and IHOP. As soon as he found out that it was gone. And today, he transitioned. He got so far gone that he couldn't even stop. Has lemon heads and Sprites as he was transitioning, knowing that these foods was causing him to be in the very condition that he's in. And then if you think the hospital there to help you, I always challenge people, go look up the hospital's menu. Go look up mucus-forming food. Mucus-forming food causes diseases, we already know that. And then look at the hospital's menu and tell me if they're there to help you. They are paid assassins who will assist you to the graveyard. Straight to the grave. That's what they paid to do. They paid assassins. So this is the brain. So this is normal brain activity. With all this red, these are neurotransmitters and receptors to have your brain function at full, your fullest potential. Your fullest potential. Without these, you can't even perceive reality the way you're supposed to. This is a brain that's on cocaine, and you see all that red that's gone, but look what else. Sugar does the same thing. Your brain don't even know if it's processing sugar or cocaine. And then, you notice it eats up the receptors, which means that now you have to understand and know that your mind is in jeopardy. Your mind is weak, because a weak mind will never indulge in something that will harm itself. So they have to make the mind weak. They got to put you to sleep in order for you to take their drugs. Because if you have a full functioning brain with your receptors firing off, you can look right through it. You can look right through it. And then we say we condemn the cocaine user, but the sugar user ain't got nothing to say about the cocaine user, because according to your brain, they don't know whether it's doing cocaine or sugar. Refined carbohydrates. I get a lot of people, I don't eat sugar though. Okay, well the less you know about your anatomy, the more subjected you are to being influenced to do the wrong things against your body. I didn't know white breads, white tortillas, white rice, pastries, enriched flour, traditional pasta, rice noodles. All this is sugar. Because what happens is your body tries to break it down to its simplest form. And the only way it can break this stuff down to, it breaks it down to sugar. Just like eating sugar. I have people all the time. Me and my wife have people all the time say, well, I don't eat sweet things. I said, do you eat rice? I said, yeah, I eat rice. That's sugar. Do you eat white bread, white flour, white rice, white crackers? That's sugar. A lot of things that's white ain't good for us. And I ain't being funny. You know? So there's a known thing, there was a known experience where they used cockroaches, and the cockroaches ran over the white flour and they ran to the wheat flour. Colorful foods. Colorful foods is really our diet. Whole wheat too, at that, not enriched wheat. Because what they do is they enrich, when you see enriched, what it does, they went in there and they took that life germ out of it and they supplemented it with a whole bunch of fake stuff to make the shelf life longer. So anytime you see enriched white flour, enriched anything, you already know, because they play with the words. And we really, I have never in my entire life, until just the last 3 years, I ever went to the store and started looking at ingredients on the back. If you look at the ingredients on the back of things, and you know what chemicals they intentionally putting in there to try to kill you, you will really see like, oh my God, they are really trying to kill. And ain't they trying to, they is. They is killing us. So sugar in the baby's brain is called ADHD. Sugar in the adult's brain is called dementia and Alzheimer's. Sugar in the eyes, glaucoma. Sugar in the teeth cavities. We all go on and on right here. Sugar on your skin is called eczema and aging, but that's just all of it sugar. Sugar in your blood is diabetes. And excessive sugar in your system is called cancer. Sugar on Wall Street is a $1 trillion industry. So they ain't about to take it out of nothing here anytime soon. $1 trillion. Addiction to sugar is 8 times more powerful than cocaine. If you ain't never did cocaine, you probably can't relate. I can relate. I was both on sugars and cocaine. I've been off cocaine more years than I can count now. I can't even remember. And even though I don't eat white sugar, I still try to find me something sweet here and there. This is how real it is. It's serious. While maintaining a healthy weight is crucial for good health and physical performance, the food you eat affects more than just your size of your waist. From your brain and spine to the network in your peripheral nerves that control your movements, your nervous system relies on your diet to perform at its best. Relies on it. And what happens is we get to eat these different types of foods, not even knowing that we have a bad emotional relationship with food because we have not properly addressed it. And then everywhere you turn, everywhere you look, you're being reminded of some type of traumatic or trauma experience that you have experienced. And not only that, it's something called epigenetic inheritance, that we are still trying to get over slavery in our blood. Our DNA shows that they did an experience and they shot these rats. Every time they would smell cherry blossom, they would spray a cherry blossom odor. And every time they spray it and the rats smelled it, they'd shock them. And they'd shock them, and they'd shock them. And then the rats had babies. And they would smell it. They'd spray it, and the rats' babies would try to get away from it. Which showed that trauma to your great-grandma, it goes back for 10 generations. 10 generations, they could detect trauma in the blood. They know us better than we know ourselves. We got codes and information of trauma and emotional stress, anxiety, and things of that nature. Some things you never even experienced. It could be Big Mama, your great-great-grandmama. It's called, and then it has something called post-slavery, post-traumatic slavery syndrome that they say that we are still suffering from to this day. To this day. Known facts. And they said, well, I never went through nothing emotionally, but if I look at your diet, I could tell that, yeah, you may not went through nothing emotionally, but you eating like it. You still having some type of effect of it, somehow, some way. The vagus nerve, what we talked about, which controls the message to the gut as well as the heart, lungs, and other vital organs, is the gut's direct connection to the brain. So whatever you put in your gut, you put in your brain. No getting around it. 90% of your serotonin that controls brain function is made up in your gut. Serotonin play a key role in depression and anxiety. About 90% of serotonin is found in the cell lining of your gastrointestinal tract. So once this is out of balance, there's no getting around it. What causes your serotonin level to be off balance? bad food, bad diet, stress, and all that type of stuff comes from your serotonin levels being out of whack in your gut. Ain't no getting around it. If your serotonin levels is off, then your mental state is off. And this brings on depression, anxiety, mania. This is the carcinogenic manual right here. They let you know what's all carcinogenic ones. They let you know that it's harmful to humans and things like that. Carcinogenic is cancer. It's another famous word for cancer. Forgive me for that. But that's what that is. So you got tobacco, of course we know. What else is one? Acidic mist, strong, inorganic, that's cancerous. Alcohol beverages, which they improve. A lot of people didn't know that. They're drinking alcohol and things of that nature. It's cancerous. Aluminum, all this is all cancer. The cancer level. Next slide. Now look what else is there. Coke production, coal gasification, which is the petroleum that we talked about right here, and that's cancer. Last but not least, look what else is cancerous. So they say, well, you're born with cancer cells. Your body is intelligent. God ain't make no mistake. And cancer is the body's last attempt to localize disease. So this is why they always say, oh, well, because your white blood cells raise up, and they say, oh, well, you could have cancer and never smoke tobacco. Yeah, you're right. But it still can be traced. For every cause, there's an effect. For every effect, there's a cause. And consumption causes cancer. Bad consumption. You consume something, the body just gives itself cancer. It's physically not possible. They want you to believe that, but it's not possible. And they try to hide this stuff, tough stuff that you blanket around. And meat consumption, processed meat causes cancer. Heterocyclic, look, that's why that cancer is so high. So this is an aroma that happens when you cook meat. It releases this heterocyclic when meats are subjected to high temperature. I ain't gonna say all people, but I know me and the people I know, we don't eat raw meat. We cook our meat. We like seasoning on it and things of that nature. But I know that when you cook it, it releases this odor, and the odor that it releases causes cancer. It's called heterocyclic meat. Chemicals that is formed with meat, poultry, and fish is cooked at high temperatures, such as frying, broiling, barbecue. Heterocyclic meat are carcinogenic. A substance that may, and it's not that it may, it will cause cancer. MSG. This is wild. MSG is something else that they use in our food. It's a natural flavoring that makes food iron. It slaps. Ooh, MSG is so good. MSG is delicious. Studies have found that MSG can lead to brain toxicity, which makes sense because brain-gut correlation, so that's obvious. And excessive glutamate levels in the brain to overstimulate nerve cells, resulting in cell death. Cell death. You are a cell. So you're killing yourself when you eat MSG. MSG has been shown to cause lesions on brains, especially in children. Where do we get these MSGs? And these are places and foods that use MSG daily basis. So you got Burger King, Chick-fil-A, KFC, Chinese food, chips, snacks, condiments, seasoned blends. They know this. We just see this, and they still use this stuff. So it's really important for us to know that every day you wake up, you are at war. There are a group of people who is sitting around coming up with ways and strategies to kill. So dairy production, get into the dairy. Casein, whey protein, are major proteins of milk. But when you get into casein breaks down to something what you call casomorphine, acts like morphine in the body because this is what the mother cow has in the system so that the calf can come and be addicted to the nipple. So it can keep coming getting fed. Not only that, this milk has hormones. Hormones have instructions, and it's instructing this calf to grow into a calf. When you go and take your baby and put your baby on cow's milk, you are actually giving it instruction to grow to be the size of a cow. They tell you not to give your baby water,
Right.
but to give it calcium. They always gotta throw it. They always throw up, and you gotta burp them and do all that. But when you actually see a baby that's on natural breast milk, you ain't gotta do all that stuff. You have some what you call somatic cells that be in the milk, raw milk. They're allowed to have over I think it's 750,000 bacteria or something that's allowed to be in the milk or that comes in the milk. But the somatic cells are responsible for a significant burden of genetic diseases. So this is getting down into your genetics. Milk jack up your genetics. Thyself morphine is a naturally occurring product of cow's milk with opiate-like activity giving suckling to animals and filling their well-being. Our design for dairy, this being our cheese, milk, ice cream, mayo, butter, milk, chocolate, sour cream, bread, ranch, etc., is potentially linked to the effects that chrysomorphine has on human brain. Humans are the only species that allow their babies to drink milk of another species and continue to do so as an adult. The FDA is over our foods and our drugs. But get this, vitamins, minerals, herbs, and other dietary supplements are not FDA approved. They don't even approve it. FDA approved to treat or prevent diseases, which they cannot do. More information, the FDA does not approve dietary supplements for any purpose. So we talking about healing. They're against healing. That just let you know that right now. So right here, be into health doctors and individual presidents of medical machines and things of that nature having a direct correlation to the food industry that mucus forming and causing the diseases in the first place. So here they say you give us the problem, and then they come and act like they got the solution, and the solution that they're giving us cause more problems anyways. That's the name of their game. Pharmaceutical, this is back in 2022, which is probably way more now. $1.48 trillion industry in 22, they made $1.48 trillion, and 23 on the food side, that's the pharmaceutical. 1.48 trillion in pharmaceutical, then they hit them for another 1.5 trillion in food in 23. This is the only food known to man. This is the only food. Fruits and vegetables. If the sun don't touch it, the ground don't grow it, don't eat it. It's just that simple. Just that simple. And to backtrack a little bit on how important natural breast milk is, natural breast milk was so important from a black woman's nipple, to be exact, that if you don't think so, you will see in slavery times, black women feeding white babies. That's how important black women's breast milk is. That just hit me, and I wanted to throw that out there. Just go back and do your pick. If we was dogs, considered to be cattle, if I had a group of people that I looked at like that, the last thing I would be doing is putting one of my babies on one of their nipples. Let that sink in. When you go into Kroger's, Giant Eagles, or whatever store that may be in your area, grocery store in your area, you can go get your food and in the same location, get your prescription. That lets you know right there. The food that caused you to go and keep having to go and get your prescription is all in the same area. They're all correlated. It's herbal medicine. This is why you should take herbs. And it's the only medicine that actually works. This is real medicine. Now, let me say it's not the only medicine that works. Herbal medicine is real medicine. It can help reduce, and it will help reduce side effects. Herbal medicine is a natural entity. That's deep. They call natural herb an entity.
Plants are living.
So our bodies can respond to it positively. Will help, I ain't saying can, it will help with self-healing. Prescription drugs usually just mask the issue or put a band-aid over it. It can and will help improve overall health. It can and will actually save you money as well. Herbal extract teas go directly into your bloodstream and will and work better and faster than pills and capsules. Better and faster. Right here, we just ended it out. You know, and God said, behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree in which is the fruit of a tree, yielding seed to you. It should be for meat. That's our meat. That's the only meat we should be eating. The guts and the flesh of fruit. In Philippians, their end is destruction. Their God is their belly, and their glory is in their shame, with minds set on earthly things. I call heaven and earth to record this day against you, that you have set before you life and death, blessings and curses. Therefore choose life, that both thou and thou seed may live. So life is a choice. Life is a choice. Period, point blank. And if life is a choice, so is death. Which one are you choosing?